Hey everybody, I know it's 4 in the morning, but I figure I'd make another art masterpiece video as it's morning even though it's still nighttime. So yeah. For this is number 75 of my art masterpiece video. The last one I did was number 74 where I showcased my drawings of the X-Men. So yeah, and I hope you all enjoyed that. So yeah, definitely. So get ready because number 75 on this video, I'm going to showcase you my wrestling figure drawing. Yeah, my wrestling figure drawing. So yeah, I have drawn wrestling figures that I remember so much from back then to the present to the future of where they are right now. So yeah, and this is going to be amazing. Very amazing as ever. So here it is and showcase you what I have as all my wrestling figure drawings. So yeah, get ready. Okay. Yeah. All right, get ready. So here is the Yep, I got a couple in here in this book, so you guys will be very amazed. So the first wrestling figures I drew in my drawings. This was a tag team back in the '80s, and you had how many of you all remember the British Bulldog, Dudley Boyz Smith, who got his start as a tag team specialist with a former friend of his known as the Dynamite Kid. Yep. They were very famous as a tag team, so and everyone loved them very much, especially when they brought their beloved Matilda to the ring. So yeah. So get ready as I show you the drawing pictures of them as a tag team from the '80s. You probably remember them very much as a tag team. If not, that's okay. This tag team was famous from the UK, heading into the WWE, and they had a very good run as a tag team, especially when it came to scoring tag team gold during their time as a tag team as a wrestling tag team. So say hello to no other than say hello to David Boy Smith and Dynamite Kid known as the British Bulldogs. Here we go, right here. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. I hold this up so you guys can see. I have a lot of wrestling figures I've drawn in this book, so you may be seeing more. So yeah. So I hold this up. I hold this up as you guys see the drawing of the British Bulldogs. This is them with their home country flag in the background, and them holding the WWE tag team titles in their hands as a wrestling tag team. So yeah. Okay, I'll hold this up for a few more seconds, then move on to the next wrestling drawing that I also have in this book. Okay, yep. Alright. Moving on to the next wrestling drawing. There's another wrestling tag team that was definitely famous in the '80s. These two, they were one was from Canada and the other was from Las Vegas, Nevada. They formed a tag team that everyone knew so very much. And that's before one of them got their run going as a singles competitor. So yeah. So and also one of the WWE superstars is related to them, as you have an uncle and the father of to that WWE superstar. Yeah. The WWE superstar would be Natalia, who has a father that was part of this tag team with an uncle related to her. That's right. I'm talking about the very same tag team that was with Mouth of the South, Jimmy. Mr. Mouth of the South himself. So say hello to the tag team of Bret the Hitman Hart and the Anvil Jim Neidhart, known as the Hart Foundation. Yep, they were very famous when they came onto the scene as a tag team in the 80s. Yep, and this is them with the WWE Tag Team titles. Yep, Brett with the sunglasses, and the Anvil with his mouth all with a laugh, also with the shades on him. So yeah, these dudes were famous also in the 80s. Let's be honest, the 80s had a lot of great wrestlers and also great wrestling tag teams that you could never ignore. Even heading into the 90s, so yeah. Alrighty. Let's see if I can find another wrestling chart. Yeah. Alright, I got another wrestler. Yeah. I drew this wrestling darling back in the summertime. I drew a picture of her scoring the women's the women's title back at SummerSlam 2024 when she defeated Bayley for her crown. Yeah, for her crown just after scoring and winning the 2024 Queen of the Ring tournament. So yeah, if you won that tournament, you will be featured in award. You will be awarded a title shot at SummerSlam. So, and this Madame got what she wanted after going through Bayley. So get ready as I show you the picture of the irresistible force known as Nia Jax with the yeah, with the crown in her hands that she scored at SummerSlam. Behold. Yep. Hold on, I'll hold this up. Yeah. Yep. Sorry, you guys, can get a little closer. Hold on. Hold on. I got you. Yeah, this is Nia Jax scoring the crown as I drew a picture of her with that from SummerSlam 2024. Yep. The irresistible force. Yep. I'll hold this up so you guys can see for yourselves. I'll hold this up for a few more seconds and move on to the next one. Right, you have it. There's a wrestling logo I also drew and this was probably during the summertime, but you know, every summer there was a wrestling pay-per-view on the horizon that everyone loved enjoying watching, and that would be no other than WWE's SummerSlam. So I'll show you the logo of it. So here it is, the old logo of SummerSlam from the early 2000s. So yeah, into the mid 2000s. So yeah, SummerSlam. almost there. All right, moving on. Yeah, definitely got some for this one. All right, so here's another wrestling tag team that I drew, and this is from way back in the 70s. Yep. You had two Hall of Famers, and they were a very great tag team, and they made history when they became the first African American tag team to become WWE Tag Team Champions. I give to you, yep, the late great Soul Man Rocky Johnson and his partner, Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Here is a picture of them as a tag team holding their tag team titles known as the Soul Patrol. Yep, right here, the Soul Patrol. Yep, you got Soul Man Rocky Johnson on the left. Yeah, on the left, and then on the right, you've got Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Both lads holding the tag team titles in their hands as they became the first African American to score tag team gold and becoming WWE Tag Team Champions. The tag team they scored their tag team gold from was the Wild Samoans, who everyone remembers so very much. So I'm gonna hold this up so you guys can see for yourselves. Yeah, I'll hold this up so you guys can still see for yourselves before I move on to the next drawing. So yeah. All right, my friends, in a few minutes, moving on to the next one. So yeah. Okay. Oh yes. Let's see. Oh yes. Sorry, just checking to make sure I still got some more. So yeah. Y'all know I don't want to give away the next one. So yeah. All right, my friends. Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah. All right. So I got some more right here, and you're gonna love the next one. The next wrestling figure I drew, I couldn't resist. I mean, I had to put him in my wrestling drawings. And this dude, he knows the true meaning of the word fighting when it comes to him, when it comes to the wrestling ring and his fighting ability. So yeah, all know this dude. He came from Dublin, Ireland, going back to like the late 2000s, and ever since then, he's followed by two words that make him want to say these words, and that would be "Fight Night." That's right. Say hello to the dude that knows the true meaning of the words "Fight Night" every time saying banger after banger, banger after banger. So that's right. I give to you the Celtic Warrior. That's right. Say hello to the Irish Fight Night ass kicking machine, Sheamus. Oh yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I would have drawn the mohawk that he had back then, but I felt his hair, along with his mustache and everything, his beard, was the perfect hairstyle to go for. And also, I drew his Irish cross necklace, which you see around his neck. Yeah, I am ready. You can see him, yep, up at the top saying, as he would say, I am ready for fight night. That's right. And like he said, as always, banger after banger, banger after banger. That's the thing about Sheamus. He is always ready for a fight, even if it means ass kicking season coming to the door. Yeah, and you can see the green hearts around his name. Like I said, he's Irish, from Dublin, Ireland. Oh yeah. Was that really gonna draw Becky Lynch? Let's put it like this: the man has become insecure. The man, Becky Lynch, has become insecure lately for the last several months. And when I say insecure, you think she's still gonna be the same like she used to be. Becky has always been insecure, even when it comes to her not being recognized. And this is someone who said that she was gonna take a break from pro wrestling, then for all of a sudden comes back at WrestleMania, and then when loses the tag team titles with Live Valkyria, she shows the world her true colors that we always knew about Becky. An insecure individual, calling herself the man, except for one thing. She don't look like the man. She more like an insecure, less of a man. She looks like the insecure of a man that's not fully the man. More like insecure. So I'll hold this up so you guys can still see this. Alrighty. Okay, in a few minutes, moving on to the next drawing. So yeah. 4, 2. Okay, next drawing. Yeah, before I do, just check to make sure I got some that I have drawn before. Yeah, just checking. Yeah. All right. Now here's my next wrestling drawing of this wrestling figure. Now we all know this dude is enjoying his last run in the WWE before he really retires. Not to mention that last year he announced his retirement. He's been doing this for so long. I mean, going back to the year 2002 when he made his debut in the WWE. And ever since then, I'm not gonna lie, what was true about him was that he was one close away of being fired after not finding a personality that he can relate to with the wrestling fans. And then came the biggest one where he was doing freestyle rapping, and then came from that to main eventing matches you thought he would never go for, but it happened. Even with WrestleMania being on the horizon as ever, and now look where he is as he enjoys his final run in the WWE. That's right. Say hello to the drawing of Mr. Chain Gang Commander himself, John Cena. But here's the thing. I drew an old school picture of him back then when he had something around his waist. So prepare to be amazed as I show this to you. Hang tight. Take a look. Yep. This is the John Cena I remember when I was growing up. And this was him with the WWE title around his waist. Yep. This was the real hustle, loyalty, and respect character of this dude. Yep. And he always had the WWE title with him whenever he was ready to defend against those who wanted to shy his crown. So, yep, right over here, as you know it. Yep, I'll hold this up as you guys see for yourselves. Yep, as you can see, next to him, I put down hustle, loyalty, and respect. Believe that. This is the last time we're going to see Cena before he says goodbye, as this is his final run in the WWE. So I'll hold this up as you guys see for your own selves. And then we're going to move on to the next wrestling character that I am so excited to introduce you to. Yep, you all know this dude so much. Yeah, I'm going to hold this up so you guys can still see. Alrighty, yeah. A few more seconds and then moving on to the next one. Alrighty. Alright, my friends. Now we've got the next wrestling figure that I'm about to introduce you in my drawings. I've been a huge fan of this dude, especially when he came back to WWE in late summer of 2006. Yeah, there was logos of him coming back, especially on Monday Night Raw. And ever since then, I've really gotten to know him, especially looking back at his matches alongside with his brother Matt, and they've done some amazing things in the wrestling ring, especially when they were one of the tag teams that created the first ever tables, ladders, and chairs match that took place at SummerSlam 2000. That's right, TLC, tables, ladders, and chairs. Oh my. And this dude has been known for taking risks every time he was in the wrestling ring. Not to mention, he went from being a tag team specialist, which I feel like he still is to this day, even to being a singles competitor as he got comfortable in singles competition. And he can really relate with the fans who never get tired of seeing him whenever he's ready to wrestle. That's right. Say hello to my next wrestling drawing, one of my favorite wrestling figures of all time. I give to you the extreme and charismatic enigma, Mr. Jeff Hardy. Right here. Bam. Hold on. Yep. I'll hold this so you guys can see for yourselves. Yep, this is my dude right here, the charismatic enigma, Jeff Hardy. The extreme enigma. He had the Enigma as his nickname. He also had another one called the Rainbow Hair Warrior, because he always dyed his hair with any colors he had in store, whether it was green, orange, yellow, or purple and pink. That's what I loved about Jeff. What Jeff and I have in common, here's what you're going to want to know. We both love art and poetry. He's been doing this since he was pretty much during his time as a wrestling individual. And art and poetry has always been my thing, so especially when it comes to art. And Jeff knows art so very much. So yeah. I hold this up as you guys can see it. You can tell that you can see the purple hearts in between his, on the side of his name. Yeah. Both sides of his name. Yeah. His name is in between the purple hearts as you see for yourself. So yeah. The charismatic and extreme enigma, Mr. Jeff Hardy. Oh yeah. So I'll hold this up as you guys can see. And then, yeah. Holding this up as you guys see for yourselves. So yeah. Yeah, holding this up. Yeah, but you can also see the necklace I drew around his neck, the Hardy necklace. So yeah. I also have a Jeff Hardy shirt that says normality, with his faces covered in paints, even design pads that he always did whenever he was ready to wrestle. So yeah, that was Jeff. And I don't know if you guys know this, but he and his brother Matt are going to wrestle the Dudley. Wait, rewind. I'll tell you at the end. I'll show you at the end. So yeah, he and his brother are going to wrestle a very familiar tag team one last time before they are ready to say, we did it for the last time. And it's going to take place at Bound for Glory on October 12th in Lowell, Massachusetts. I'll show you the rest. I'll show you the drawing of the wrestling tag team they will be facing. I almost gave away the surprise, but I don't want to. I want you to see for yourself at the end. So yeah. Hold this up for a few more seconds, and then we'll move on to the next wrestling drawing. So yeah. Okay. Moving on to the next wrestling drawing I have in store. All right. Now, this wrestling character, you all know him very well. I mean, you've seen how he was back in the 70s and the 80s, the 90s. He's been wrestling since he got his wrestling career started. And how many remember his going like this? Limousine riding, jet flying, key stealing, wheel dealing, son of a gun, styling, profiling. That's right. And you know this one as ever. Woo! That's right, you guessed it. Say hello to my next wrestling drawing. I give to you the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Dun, 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 dun. Boom, dum, 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 dum. Boom, dum, dun, dun. That's right. I drew a picture of him back then when he had a title around his waist during the prime of his wrestling career. So I'll hold this up as you guys see for yourselves. Yep, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Holding this up, you guys, as you see for yourselves. Yeah, we're getting close, I promise you. Yep. Alrighty. Okay. Yeah, that was the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Now we're moving on to the next wrestling character. Oh, yes. Do I have a good one for you guys? I drew another wrestling character that has also been my favorite. And, you know, I have seen every match that he has always been in, even those I have never seen before. Yeah. When I started watching wrestling at the age of 12, I remember watching Friday Night SmackDown. There was one dude, and one of the dudes I always tuned in to see was somebody that was not afraid to take down bigger dudes who were like twice, three, or to say the least, four times his size. And you know, he's always made a career of taking down dudes who were like twice, even more, times taller than him. And the best part of him about this dude is that he always knew how to overcome the odds. Even he knew that he could always take down anyone that he always faced in the ring. I mean, to tell the honest truth, he knew how to fight them no matter what strategy he had in store. So yeah. And you know, he's also a WWE Hall of Famer. Not to mention right now, you got his Dirty Sanchez of a son running around with both titles in his hands. One of them would be the Intercontinental title. So say hello to the dude who has scored the World Heavyweight title not once, but twice. And this is the best part about him. A two-time world champion and has made a career out of other titles. Even one of them was also, like I mentioned before, the Intercontinental title. So say hello to the WWE Hall of Famer and also the 619. Yeah, that's right, you heard me. The 619 Wizard, the 619 Maestro, and the Master of the 619. I give to you. Hey, Mysterio. Booyaka. Right here. This is a picture of my boy with the World Heavyweight title around him. Oh, yeah. And you can see it right next to him saying 619 in the house. Ray has always been one of my favorite wrestling dudes that I love seeing on television. And if you wonder what's my favorite Rey Mysterio match, I'm going to put it like this. My favorite one would have to be, let's see, I actually have a few, but I'll tell you right now. First one will be him scoring the World Heavyweight title at WrestleMania 22 in a triple threat showdown between him, Kurt Angle, and the Viper Randy Orton. And then we have another one where he took on Chavo Guerrero when he made his return after being out and sidelined with an injury for over 11 months. Yeah. He came back at SummerSlam when Chavo knew that he was going to make his return. And for Ray, this was the perfect revenge to get back at somebody who took him out because last time he and Chavo met, it was on an episode of SmackDown 2006, and the episode witnessed two dudes going at it in an I Quit match. Chavo made Ray surrender by saying the words, I quit, And Ray's knee was damaged so bad that Ray couldn't take it no more. So Ray was sidelined for over 11 months with a knee injury. But when he came back at SummerSlam, everyone was like in euphoria, excited to see the return of a 619 Maestro returning to the ring. So yeah. Now, I'll never forget Ray's outfit when he made his return at SummerSlam '07. It was a Silver Surfer type, just like from the movie Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer. So yeah, that was a great entrance. Another Rey Mysterio match I also enjoyed would be him scoring the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania 25 from JBL when he also defeated him for the Intercontinental title. Everyone knew that Ray had the opportunity to defeat JBL for that belt. So yeah, Ray has been like one of the best wrestling figures you never get tired of seeing on television. Whether he's at an independent wrestling show or doing somewhere where fan fanatic band base is happening. So yeah, this is Ray. Rey Mysterio. Booyaka Booyaka 619. Hold this up for a few minutes and then move on to the next wrestling character. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Moving on to the next wrestling character. Yeah. Hang tight. Alrighty. Oh, wait, you know what? I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. I'm back, my friend. Sorry, I had to use the bathroom, but I'm back. Alright, moving on to the next wrestling character. Now, I found the next wrestling character that you guys are going to love, and I drew him because he's also been one of my favorite wrestling characters. You know, a lot of great wrestling characters have a lot of great wrestling nicknames, and you can't forget one of them when you've been called a machine that knows how to hit you with a hard-hitting spear, or known for something else as a crazed, ready to go, clock you dude, or more like ambush you out of nowhere individual. So yeah. So this next dude I'm about to introduce you, he had 3 nicknames that I never forgot about. Hold on, sorry. No, that's not fun. Yeah, sorry. He had 3 nicknames that I remember during his time in the wrestling business. Let's see, there was the Man Beast, there was the War Machine, and here's one I found out was when he was in ECW. He had a nickname, and he was associated with wrestling legend Mr. Steve Corino. His nickname was known as, and my best friend, I'm not gonna lie, he even found this weird, and I had to agree with him because that was a very weird nickname. This dude's other nickname in ECW, not only was it the Man Beast or the War Machine, his nickname, as he was associated with Steve Corino, was his nickname was called Steve Corino's Cookie Monster, and I found it to be a little what's the word I'm looking for? A little disturbing because can't picture that, but you could kind of picture that even if it's in the wrong way. So yeah. So say hello to one of my favorite wrestling lads that has also really made a difference in the wrestling business. And also, he got inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame, I believe, last year as Bound for Glory was happening. So yeah, say hello to the Man Beast. That's right, the ECW native, also the War Machine. I give to you. Hey, hold on, Rhino. Yeah, and you remember his finisher, the Gore, as he would say these words: Gore, Gore, Gore. Yep, he had a hard-hitting finishing spear called the Gore, Whenever you turned around, you think no one was coming for you, think again. Rhino was ready to deliver a gore that you never saw coming, even if you didn't see it coming out of the gate. Yep. He was in a lot of wrestling promotions. There was ECW, WWE, TNA, even Ring of Honor. So yeah, the truth tells everything. Yeah, I definitely remember his time in TNA wrestling. And you know, one of my favorite matches of him, or one of my favorite rivalries with Rhino was him and Christian Cage. I mean, yeah. Let's see. There was two matches I enjoyed out of those two of their rivalry. One was Bound for Glory, 2006, the 8 Mile Street Fight. Every time I watch it, it just reminds you how Rhino was so was like really ready for revenge. And then they met on an episode of Impact back in November 2006. It was November 16th. It was when Impact went from being an hour special to being a 2 hour special show. And these two went at it in the 6 hours of steel with barbed wire match. Yep, I remember. It was Rhino taking on his former best friend inside that match. And the two just pound each other like to hell and back, even when blood was being showcased throughout the battle. And you know, I remember Rhino, he did his damage on Christian. Even though he didn't win the match, he did win the war though because he had Christian where he was as he was going for the gore. And next thing you know, Christian, he got gored all right, but fell out of the cage when he landed on the ground. And Rhino, he knew that he had cost himself the victory against Christian, but you know what? To him, he could care less because he was done with Christian. All he wanted was Christian to face what he had done. Yeah. And Rhino, his finisher has always been the best, the gore. It never disappears from the fans. Love seeing a dude who knows how to deliver a hard-hitting punishment finishing move that you don't see coming. So yeah, I'll hold this up so you guys can see for yourself. Gore, gore, gore. Yeah. Rhino, another dude I love in the wrestling landscape. Yeah, yeah. Alright, I'm going to move on to the next wrestling character in a few seconds. Alright, in 3, 2. Okay, my friends. Moving on to the next wrestling character. Oh, yes, I gotta show this dude. He meant so much to everybody. Yes. Oh, no, sorry, yeah. Just checking to see how many wrestling characters I have left, so yeah. Sorry, yeah. Alright, my friends, I have another wrestling character, and he was also an ECW native. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm gonna tell the honest truth. We lost this dude this year as he passed away at the age of 60. He was really recognized in ECW for his hard-hitting, extreme, and also hardcore environment matches. You know, you pretty much witness his matches with the likes of Rob Van Dam, the Transmission special, the Human Suplex Machine, Taz, yeah, who's known for putting people to sleep. And also, you pretty much recognized him for being in matches where Extreme Rules matches were never no strain, were never Extreme Rules matches were no strangers. Yeah, he was no stranger to Extreme Rules matches. So yeah, you know this dude very much. I remember one of my favorite matches of this dude was him taking on the Big Show at SummerSlam 06. An ECW Extreme Rules match was showcased in that pay-per-view event. It was the first time that you got to see an ECW match be showcased at a WWE pay-per-view. And it happened, so yeah. So that was, yeah. So get ready as I show you the picture of the, tell me if you remember this nickname, the suicidal, homicidal, genocidal, death-defying, Sabu. Behold, that's right. And I put down the year that he had passed away. But this is the right next to it was the year he was born. Sabu. 1964 to this year. Rest in peace, lad. He was also an extreme maestro because he knew the true meaning of the word extreme, even when it came to hardcore matches. Yeah, Sabu. God rest his soul. Yeah, his final match in sorry. Yep, sorry. Yeah, his final match. Yeah, right here. He has final match in GCW, which takes place in the Webster Arena in the capital city of Connecticut. So yeah, before his passing. So yeah, he passed away at the age of 60. When I saw the news had broken out, even on social media, I was very heartbroken. I was like, "Oh my God, we lost a very great wrestling legend who knew the true meaning of the words extreme, who knew the true meaning of the word extreme, even becoming the hardcore slash extreme maestro in the wrestling ring." I'll hold this up so you guys can see. As I say this, rest in peace, lad. You will never be forgotten. We love you, Sabu. Yeah, he was so good in the wrestling ring, especially when it came to the words hardcore and extreme. We're getting close, my friend. I got a few left to show you, and this will be it. I promise. I know I'm going over as you see. So yeah. Alrighty. Yeah. Hold on. I apologize. Alright, how many do we have left? Well, one, two. Yes. Yep. Last one. Yep. These two will be last we showcase. So yeah. Alright, lads. I got another wrestling figure that Sabu, Rhino, and Jeff Hardy know during their time in TNA. And this dude was very famous in TNA. He was known for, the hard hitting and hardcore extreme matches that you've seen, even when it came to weapons such as chairs, thumbtacks, even barbed wire. So, say hello to this TNA Wrestling Hall of Famer because he was also inducted along with Rhino, Jeff Jarrett, and others. So, I give to you, say hello to TNA Wrestling Fellow. I give to you the Monster Abyss. Oh, yeah. Yeah, say hello to the Monster Abyss. I drew him when he came back in 2008 with a new wrestling gear. It was like something you would see in a mental institution, and you could see the number on his on the left side of his ring gear. Yeah, in ring gear. So yeah, and his mask was different. So I was done with his old ring gear that was all black, but I was like, I go for the one where he came back with the new ring gear, which everyone was digging. So yeah, this right here is the Monster Abyss. Oh yeah. The Monster Abyss in the house. Yeah, just checking the time. Yeah, doing great. Alright. Yeah. I'll hold this up for a few seconds and then moving on. So yeah. Alright. Almost there, almost there. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Okay. Yep. Alright. I got another wrestling drawing story. This is another wrestling tag team that was famous from the 80s into the 90s. This tag team. Their names, yeah, you pretty much know them. Kyle O'Reilly named them after, yeah, he named his signature maneuvers in the wrestling ring after them. See how they were the tag team that everyone grew up watching. So get ready as I introduce you to the tag team that also won tag team gold during their time in the wrestling landscape. How many of you remember Demolition? Because that's what I'm about to introduce you to right now. I give to you. Oh yeah, hold on, so sorry, just make sure. I give to you Oh, I'm so sorry. Hold on. Yep, so sorry. Yep, hold on. Sorry. I give to you Demolition, Axe and Smash. Yep, you remember them so much from the rest from back in the old days. So yeah, Demolition, Axe and Smash, another wrestling tag team that scored tag team gold multiple times. So yeah, Axe on the right, yep, and Smash on the left. So yeah, behold, Axe and Smash. Yeah, I think I heard that theme song going on. Here comes the axe. Here comes the smash. Demolition in the house. Yeah. And I got also another wrestling madam I'd like to show you in this drawing. So get ready. So yeah. Just checking the time. So yeah. Alrighty. Okay. Alright, another wrestling madam I drew, and you all know this madam. So get ready as I introduce you to her. See if you can guess this madam. I'll give you a hint. This is my brutality. That's right. I got it right here for you. I give to you Rhea Bloody Ripley. Oh yeah, and you know the quote from her wrestling theme. This is my brutality. Mommy's here. Yep, I had to draw her because she's also a madam I took her very loving to. Yep, Rhea is not to be trifled with, and we all know that for sure. She's an Australian native, so yeah, definitely. From New South Wales, Australia. Actually, Adelaide, Australia, so yeah, that's right. Yep, I hold this up. Yep, yep. And I'm saving my last last wrestling drawing for last. You're gonna love this one. Alrighty, almost there, almost there. Okay. Alright, my friends, we are down to the last wrestling drawing I did, and this is another tag team that you all know so very much. This is the very same tag team that you have watched for years and years and years, score many, many World Tag Team titles. They have scored them so many times, I can't remember the last. I mean, they have scored them, I think, 24. They have become World Tag Team Champions 24 times. Yes, and they're planning to become a 25th time as they take on a tag team for the last time. And it's going to be taking place at Bound for Glory. So, yes, you are about to witness their final time against this tag team, and you know the Hardys are no strangers to them or any other tag team that has faced them. So get ready as I show you the final drawing that I have done of this, the final wrestling drawing that I did of this wrestling tag team. Say hello to the tag team that loves putting people and others through the one weapon that they love so very much, and that is, as you remember this, see if you can guess this. 3, 2, 1. Get the tables! That's right. Say hello to my wrestling drawing of the Dudley Boyz. That's right. I drew the Dudley Boyz in my wrestling drawings, and this came out so good. Bubba Ray, Devon, you can see right here, straight out of Dudleyville. Yep. And you can see the sign, and you can see up above them saying, "Get the tables!" Yep. This was them when they were part of the WWE. And you know, their matches have been legendary, especially those who have faced them in the wrestling ring, whether it was in a tables match. And this was the same tag team, along with Edge and Christian and the Hardys, that put together TLC. Tables, ladders, and chairs. Oh my, that's right. You damn well know it. Yep. This tag team, sorry. Yeah, sorry. This tag team has has put a lot of people has gotten a lot of people. This tag team has gotten everyone's attention when it comes to putting people through tables, whether facing tag teams in table matches or any other type of matches in store. So yeah, they were definitely recognized for that. And this is also the same tag team that will face the Hardys one last time at Bound for Glory on October 12th in Lowell, Massachusetts. One final time. They've met before, going back to Royal Rumble 2000 and NYC at the Madison Square Garden Arena at the Madison Square Garden Arena. Yep, they met in the first ever tag team tables match, where the Hardys came out on top after, going at it with them and so much tables being delivered. So yeah. This is the same tag team right here. Yep, the Dudley Boyz have known how to deliver when it comes to scoring tag team titles and putting people through tables. So yeah, this is them. And you remember the catchphrase that Bubba Ray always said when it came to him and Devon Ray for the tables. 3, 2, 1, get the tables! Yeah, who doesn't love putting people and others through tables? That's like the most fun thing to do. So yeah. Yep, right here, the Dudley Boyz. I'm gonna hold this up before it's time to close this out. So yeah. Yeah. Yep. On October 12th at Bound for Glory in Lowell, Massachusetts, they take on the Hardy Boys one last time. And that's going to be a memory that no one will ever forget. If you remember their match from Royal Rumble 2000, now you're going to remember their final battle for the last time at Bound for Glory in this tag team match. And they want to do it with the tables included. So yeah. I'll hold this up before it's time to close this out. A few more seconds. Okay. There you have it, my friends. That was all my wrestling drawings I have shown you of wrestling characters I have done on. I hope you guys enjoyed this art masterpiece video. This was number 75. You are more than welcome to watch this over whenever you want or whenever you like to reminisce the wrestling characters that you all grew up watching when it came to wrestling. Even going back in the day, the present, or even the future where it is right now. So yeah. But other than that, I just want to say thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed this. Hope to make another art masterpieces video, number 76. I might showcase what I've been doing these days. But yeah. If I ever have more drawings, I'll show you in the next one. In the meantime, enjoy the one that I just put together as my latest. So yeah, I just want to say, loves, thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you guys next time. Have a wonderful, well, even though it's the morning, but like I said, have a wonderful day as the morning begins. So yeah, take care, loves. I'll see you next time.